somebody.
You got to sometimes.
You are a piece of
Yeah, you could be that. That's fine.
Period.
You can say that, but don't say the other one. We
I
okay
can
with
actually
that.
say whatever the I want to because I'm a grown-ass woman.
Yeah, you can. You know what I'm saying? Deal with what you got to deal with. I don't. Ain't nothing I do. I live my life free. You know what I'm saying? You don't.
No.
Ain't nothing holding me back. You don't.
What?
You know what I'm saying? You triggered because you know you fell for guys giving you some little finagle and you got
Come
triggered. That's
on
your
now.
business. Step your
I'm
game
triggered.
up.
You're the ones that
Come on now.
It's a conversation. It's a conversation.
I would also
so whatever
say,
happened to you, that's something you got to
I
do
would
with.
also
I don't.
say that
That's all it is. Because you keep bringing up this conversation to where it has to deal with the equivalency of being raped or molested. This conversation ain't got nothing to do with that. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome to another video. King Draco here, back with another one. I just want to start this video off by saying thank you guys for tuning in to the channel, watching the content, leaving your comments, subscribing. We are growing, and you know, I plan to grow this channel even more and more. It's been a long time coming. I've had this channel for about 5 years now. So was introduced by a friend to create this channel. Don't know exactly where we're gonna go with it, but you know, we're trying new things, we're trying stuff out. Just want to say to all the people that's been loyal and commenting, appreciate that. Much love to y'all. And if you're new here, definitely subscribe to the channel. We go over positive content. We take out, you know, new content that's out there that's probably hyped by everybody, and try to break it down and see what things we can take from it and apply to our daily lives, and you know, pretty much be a positive outlook from there. But we're going back to On the Contrary to react to another video here. Is going a little viral, so we're gonna see what they're talking about, see what we can get into. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. Yeah, might be a little Uber Eats, maybe, but
maybe it's crazy.
Extremely maybe.
different standard, but I think maybe that's the conversation up front. We need to know what we expect that each
Man,
other
we know what it is. We ain't got to go all that conversation.
You have to game a girl out of
That's
coochie.
game of life. Like, she
if
should
you
be
have to
grown.
game a girl out of coochie, you are just as bad as the guy that does physical
Nah,
harm.
that ain't on the same spectrum. I don't know what it is.
Absolutely is.
Morning, night conversations, and we having great conversations for an hour and a half at night before she goes to sleep. She wakes up and then she's seeing my message first.
But you still have no feelings for her at all.
Of course not. But
But Louis or Rico, Hondo, have you ever paid for ever?
of course,
My nigga.
I paid for
She like that.
No, not like
Where were
that.
you
That's a prostitute.
That is a little bit.
Not
of,
like
What country
that.
were you in?
Not
I
like
thought
that.
that's what I meant when I hear pay for. That's how much do you cost?
Yeah, no, I knew what he meant. I don't know what country were you in.
you want to suck my?
I'm like, you too much. It's crazy.
She said, "Do you want to come to America?"
Why they always add O's and A's on it? Like you want to suck up my dick?
My dick-
So let's run that from the top. I'm your girl, Ra Ali.
This is Louis the Don, Mr. Que Lo Que.
You know, baby, it's me, Cash, your sexologist bestie.
And you already know the vibes. It's your man Rico Hundo.
I'm your favorite cousin, Randy Rosario.
Have no fear, Mr. Organic is here, and this is
On the Contrary.
I like it.
And every oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
I saw the topic. I'm
Try
sorry.
that. Let me try that one out.
All right, guys. Tonight we're talking about booty calls. All right. Are they fun, no strings attached setups, or are they just a waste of time? Can casual sex ever be drama free, or does it always have somebody in the mix catching feelings? And do men use booty calls as a way just to cheat? We got to get into this. This is a lot of spiciness in this topic, y'all. Y'all know we got to come in with the quick fire questions. So I want to ask each and every one here, what's the difference between a booty call and a sneaky link?
That's
I think a booty call would be like a one night stand. A sneaky link is a consistent thing with someone you shouldn't be with on love.
A booty call that graduated.
To a sneaky link. To a sneaky link.
Because I know I ain't supposed to be with you.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be with you.
But I'm a
Gotcha. Around 3 a.m. Preferably.
I think a booty call is just that, a booty call, but you can get called regularly. I think a sneaky link has the potential to grow into a relationship, but right now you're just in sneaky mode and y'all like, oh, we trying to be careful to make sure we don't, you know, just muddy the waters up too much.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. What you think, bro? You agree?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Okay,
That makes
okay.
sense.
Yeah, booty calls is just you. Yeah, you just call them anytime. And even though one time thing, like that's just I know this guaranteed booty. I'm gonna call around 1 a.m. That's a guarantee.
You know what time it is. You come through the
Sneaky Link, they might get a little Netflix with it. Booty call just gonna get some fun.
Sneaky Link might get a date.
Yeah, I don't know about all that.
You know?
Yeah, might get a little Uber Eats, maybe, but
Maybe it's crazy.
Extremely maybe.
Y'all out here sexing on an empty stomach?
Oh, they
That's
got
the least
to.
you could get.
Nah, they gonna get filled up with some meat.
Because I ain't y'all, and at least I feed you.
No,
y'all
you
ain't
actually
feeding
not
somebody
in your
ain't
stomach
feeding.
growl.
Hey, get out.
That shit on the table.
You starving, you should be over here.
Brandy gotta get into organic and see how he does.
Oh, seriously?
What's the
No.
next one?
Okay,
No one
but
gets
all
it to
right.
me.
So let me
That
get in
sound
y'all
crazy.
business, though. Let me
Yeah.
get in y'all business. Let me get in y'all business. Has anybody here had a booty call that actually turned into a relationship?
A one night stand.
That turned into a little bit more than that.
A couple of times, you know,
A couple of
times.
times.
twice.
Tell us
Be
one,
exact.
bro. Tell us one. What
Well,
happened?
she turned into a 2-year relationship, but I knew I shouldn't have been with her. But the sex, I was young. You
Mhm.
know, that sex had you. But I'm gonna tell you why. She was honest from the gate.
Mhm.
She was like, "Yo, listen, I was outside. I don't want to be outside no more."
Throwing the towel with you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, let's just finish this up. We can
Hang
talk
that
about that
jersey up.
afterwards."
Mhm.
And then like she just kept it thorough, so I kind of liked it just because I didn't have to guess with her.
That's good.
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? So and she kept it thorough the whole way, but then she was a little off her rocker, which so I had to.
We all are a little bit.
Just a
Nah,
little.
she had to go.
Thank you.
Little
Yeah,
7:30.
Thank you.
I think I had a situation that's a booty call turned into a whole marriage.
Oh,
But then I
shit.
realized that he
What?
wasn't trying to be a booty call. He really wanted to actually rock with me. So it was like, okay, cool. You pulled up and gave me dick on the second day, and now look, 6 years later, here we are.
Bing bong.
I definitely man on the first
Hey,
night.
you got to.
You did?
I absolutely did.
That's the best
We're
way to
still
do it.
here 2
I
years
got-
later.
I got too drunk the first night because it was my birthday, and you know how we do before you were 30 on your birthdays, you know. So I got too drunk that first night, but that second night, I said, "Oh yeah,
was ready.
this is yours, buddy."
I gotta be honest, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because we all, But the reality of it is, I was the most careless that night.
Unrecommended. Unrecommended. Happy that they are married now. Unrecommended. Don't do no shit like that. Ever. It's a bad situation waiting to happen. Really.
And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all.
It'd be like
All of
that.
my good sense left.
Yeah.
What do we go to school
That's
for?
the best way to be.
It'd be like that.
Because I actually met him naked
oh,
in person.
Come on now.
Wait, what?
Right?
Oh, you had a sex party?
No, that's the part that's making it a little crazy. So, ironically, we had our first conversation. We met on a dating app.
Okay,
I'm not gonna say which dating app until you agree to pay some money for
I know that.
sponsorship.
Hey,
But
man,
But we met on a dating app. We talked for a good couple of weeks. I was busy as hell. Then we had one FaceTime. And I'm gonna be honest, like at the end of that call, he's just got the clean cut, beard was looking nice. I was feeling a little motivated and inspired. So I touched myself.
Mhm.
But the funny thing is we met the next day, and because I don't know, something just felt comfortable about him. Like, if somebody raised good, you could tell they had good parents.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it was something about that call that made you want to touch yourself. Did you have any type of exposure to what he was looking like down there?
No.
He had his wiener out.
We both ended up being exposed.
Oh, it was just like you were just attracted to him
we
in that
both
moment.
mutually ended up
Not the
masturbating on FaceTime.
Wait,
Together?
Slow.
Yes.
Okay,
This is the
so
first FaceTime?
when you do that, listen, no,
This is
you're
the first
asking too many.
FaceTime.
I don't know. And I have to say it. It's not normal. It's not normal. That is something that's not normal. That is something also I do not recommend. I would never marry a person that I met on the FaceTime. We exposed ourselves to one another and started masturbating. Crazy work. Crazy work. But I don't know this woman's name, but you can tell she's into, the freaky deaky shit. I believe she might even sell toys. I think I've heard that, or maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but you can tell.
That's
Questions.
legendary.
You're asking the wrong question. So when you decided you were going to masturbate with that man on FaceTime, what did you use a toy? Did you use your hand? What
I
did
sell
you do?
sex toys. I got an arsenal.
She got
Really?
yeah, she got a whole
Quite
army.
There you go, right there.
So what
like,
did you
Lambo.
use in that moment?
So I had actually had 3 toys that we were testing out to see if we were going to add to our toy collection. So I had to try them out anyway.
Oh,
You know what I mean? I figured I had a little motivation. I had a little motivation. So I said, it. So I was sitting, you know, we were talking, we were having a sexual conversation, and he wasn't creepy. You know how some guys are like a little bit too
much?
Yeah. He wasn't creepy to me. And I wasn't sure whether he was going to be just, we might each other or long-term yet, but I knew that there was some potential there. We ended up just really naturally vibing at the end of the day. And I'm a sexual being, and I'm one of those type of women who, you know, I prioritize my nut. So we were having a talk. Next thing you know, I felt moved to it. I was like, I got this new toy I want to try out. And you're looking like great inspiration tonight. You know, a little visual
great
motivation.
inspiration.
Because I don't like
game for your
That's hard.
I don't want to spend 45 minutes looking for the perfect video.
Yeah, get it done.
We all know.
You don't have like a list of 5 videos. It's like your go-to video.
Nah, because now it's me. Sometimes I watch myself come and want to do it again.
Right.
I have a hidden
Oh.
folder in the thousands of videos of me touching myself. But on some real, it was just a comfort. And I don't know how to describe it because not everybody.
So she got videos out there too. We seen how these porn stars or people that's into this sex work relationships, we see how they work out in the end. If you were thinking about it, don't do it, my friend. Don't do it.
Who will relate to this, but you can tell when you and a person have a natural chemistry. We had a straight chemistry. And then the next time that we got together in person or whatever the case is, I was getting ready actually to go host a play party for Heart Us Off that night. And I was getting myself together. I was like, well, we can meet each other in person before I go to this event. He came over to where I was staying or whatever the case is. And this is where it's a little reckless because technically he's a stranger. But there was no stranger danger. I was just, you know,
danger right from the walls.
I didn't know whether he was the danger or whether he was in danger because I was definitely feeling like a piranha, you know, a little raw, you know. So, but bottom line is he came in, he was a total gentleman, not too much though. Like he didn't sit in the living room, but he sat in the chair by the coffee table in the bedroom. So it was like a medium, not on the bed, but on the cup. He was on the bed.
Especially not in them outside clothes.
That would have.
Yeah, take that off.
Yeah. So here I come out in a towel and I'm like, hey, because he had already seen me naked.
Right.
Yeah, you was ready.
Yeah,
You know, and then I was like, can you
Y'all like
put
to play
this
games in this.
No,
one.
no,
That
Yeah.
wasn't playing games. She was setting them up for the you gonna take it or you not.
I was a single mother
Time to go.
I
who
was
was
invited.
right
I
and
was
ready. And I felt like he could do the job. And I saw his dick, so I knew he had that curve. So I wanted to see.
Shout out to the curve.
Curved up.
It was looking like, what was that commercial? Like a rock. Like a rock. It was looking like that to me. Chevy Strong. So
Are you guys still together now?
we are.
Beautiful.
We are.
How long
And
has it been?
this is 2 years that since we met.
That's lit.
Yeah, that's
Now we're actually going to celebrate our anniversary this month.
Congratulations.
You know, and he's still me like he did the day before.
Get that. I
But
ain't never turned no relationship from a booty call, but I know a lot of women I've been with did on their side. You know what I mean?
They figured
they
she
try to
was
lock
with
me
you.
down. Yeah.
Why
I'm
you
still
Leo?
free. No, I'm
Trying
a
to put
Libra.
cuffs
A
on.
Libra.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's facts. So like, yeah, it happens every time. Like once I hit him with that motherfucker, they trying to lock me down.
A 10
you know what I
incher,
mean?
right?
Big with the
Stand
girth.
up in it,
With
10
the
toes
girth.
down with the
movements
girth.
let- Come on
Okay,
now.
gargle your style.
Got to do it to him. So they ain't never
Nah, you
witnessed
gotta
nothing
see
like
the
that. So they
video.
try to wipe me up every time, and I just go with the flow.
Wipe me up.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
insane.
They try to wipe me up. You know what I'm saying?
Because you know organic is not afraid of that Boston crab. So he like, listen,
Yeah,
They gonna try to lock
Look at
my
little
man down.
I go with the flow, especially they give me a pan for something. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go with the flow. They buy me a couple little shoes or something, little outfits.
Oh, you say you like being tricked
at
on.
Rob.
Oh yeah, I'm that.
Look at
I'm for sale. Yeah, I'm for sale.
Treat
The
me
ladies
right,
pay
I'm
me.
with it. Hey.
Yeah, so when they start doing that, they got me then.
Ron,
On
why
their
you
side.
why you turn your face up when he start talking about getting
She
tricked
hate that.
on?
So
Yeah, she hate
bad.
that.
You don't
That
like when girls trick on men?
right.
No, why not?
She told
She don't ever do it.
She
She
despises
look
me.
like she just
You
tasted
don't trick on your man?
It's different. It's not the same.
'Cause
It's
that's
not
your man.
It's not
Yeah.
tricking on him.
Really?
If I want to buy something that I think is nice for him, he's invested millions in me. So my little, $600 pair of sneakers is okay.
Yeah.
But buying organic,
They need
Who
that.
ain't invest shit.
Something
The best.
is
I'm
Won't
telling
give
you.
you no- he said he wouldn't even give them bottled water. Remember that?
For what?
We had to
He
talk
just
about
said that they might get Uber Eats. Like,
Yeah.
bro, you
No.
over here dropping
He
dick
told them
without
they
putting
can
food in my
have
belly
tap
first
For
is
sure.
insane.
No.
I'm
That's
blessing
insane.
you.
I mean,
I'm
that's
blessing you with the best dick you ever had in your life.
What?
Why would I need to feed
I'm
you when
trying
I'm
to get the
blessing you?
best steak I ever had in my life.
Get
nigga.
out then. Come with your belly full or don't come.
Come with my belly full is crazy. I'm gonna come rubbed out and full, nigga.
Yeah,
I'm
not
not
for me.
earlier.
I'm
Can
just
you
having by so
You
all of
getting
my
one
friends
in
get
the
drunk over here
other.
before we go to the
That's
club.
giving out
look,
blessings already.
So look, but this brings us to the next question, right?
Okay.
Is can the booty call ever just stay simple or does it get messy at some point? And I'm gonna tell you when a booty call gets messy
Mhm.
is when you start feeding them.
Come on, Rico.
Because if I give you nothing,
Get comfortable.
you don't want to be here more than I want to be here.
Jesus
All we
Christ,
both
though.
want is sex.
Yeah.
But if I start
Can we keep it
feeding
there?
you, now you want to like me.
I just
and
Don't
wanna,
like
I
me.
see what I can do
want
for
to,
you.
I want to intervene with something. When you treat a woman well, right? When you treat a woman good, even if it's for a short period of time, you're gonna get so much more.
I don't want nothing more.
No, when I say that, I'm talking about even during the sexual.
Nah,
She'll suck
I'm,
you like
I'm
a
doing all the
succubus.
work anyway. What's she finna be doing?
But
She gonna
you-
suck a
you
little
want
dick,
her to- you want
drive
her-
for 2 seconds. I'm doing 30 moves.
This nigga said
That's about
one.
that's all. Honestly, from the sound of thing, that's
Down,
probably
left,
about all
right,
you're gonna be good for in the
Right,
situation.
right.
What I'm trying to
That's
say
it.
is
I
that
got
you're gonna
30
get-
moves.
You're gonna get the best version of her possible. First of all, her
Man,
moans are gonna be a little bit more erotic, which is gonna turn you on more.
I'm
She's
cool.
gonna be a lot wetter. She's gonna be a lot wetter because she's gonna be like, "This is a nigga I want."
She gonna do that anyway. I'm me. She already juiced up.
And you don't know whatever you like. She's gonna be wanting to satisfy you as
They
well.
gonna do
because-
that anyway. I'm me.
But you're not gonna get the best version of a woman by not
Treating
doing
her right.
anything. I'm not even talking about I'm not even talking about the extreme of shopping because the stores are closed by the time you meet.
Yeah,
up with
yeah, they're
people.
close. They're close.
But I'm just trying to say, and just treating them well, talking to them nicely, making sure
We
they-
gonna do that.
No, making sure they've eaten.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Not feeding people is crazy.
Imagine-
as-
Crazy
But Rob,
business.
it's just
That's
so
bad.
wrong. It's like it's just wrong. You might as well just mush her head down in the dirt while you give her back.
Nah,
shots.
that's crazy.
that's
we
the
ain't
same
violating
thing.
the women now. We gonna
That's
keep
the
it respectable.
But
Same,
it's
not
no
feeding
different,
a
not
woman
feeding
is
Be
the
her.
fed
same
before you
thing.
come. I'm not your caregiver.
The
Yeah,
judgment in it.
And I'm not your I'm not your pussy giver.
It don't, I don't need it then.
Because
I'm,
that's community
once again,
service
I'm the A
otherwise.
side of the situation.
I'm
So
not your
I'm blessing you.
caregiver.
You're,
But the thing
you ain't getting nothing to this table here, man. I don't want to bless you in this
I
situation.
have to
But
bring
you know-
something to the table, and I'm already bringing.
No,
I'm
no.
bringing the whole. What else?
What you do? I don't that used car. That shit ain't this. This is a Bugatti dick here.
That
What
you
is
car
that?
ass dick.
No,
That's a
it's not.
92 Eon.
No way.
Your name mama didn't drove that
Yeah,
car.
they love it too. You women don't even come from dick, so you got to find this special magical dick to make that right.
You must see her toys.
Right.
You
Oh,
must
what a
see her
toy. What you do? You a
toys.
robot.
Saturn up
This is
all
real
over
life.
your dick.
One of those conversations. I don't indulge in those type of things anymore. Married man, so far beyond this conversation. I'm pretty sure that's why that dude over there quiet. He's a married man. I was finna just sit through it, but I just have to say something. It's kind of bothering me. Just being courtesy to people, like just showing respect to people. You know, somebody come over your house, like, hey man, you want some water? You want something to eat? You want some drinks? Something like that. Just in general, I think it's just natural behavior that everyone should partake in. Just being respectful. Saying, nah, you can't have no water is crazy work, just to be honest. Whether it's a booty call or not, this could be your friends, girlfriend, it doesn't really matter. I think, you know, it's a little courtesy, just to, you know what I'm saying? Just, hey, you all right? You don't need anything? You know, that is kind of crazy. So I will say that.
This ain't AI. This real life dick.
Man, all I know
Get
is
some of that.
I love some AI. Chat GPT
Go
be
ahead.
writing the out of
Hey,
my
that's
papers.
you. You know what I'm saying? Real women
But-
want that real meat, and they
But
get
you got to
that.
think about this. Like, I'm the type of person, you don't always want to fill your stomach before you. You said they got to come fed.
And,
I'm not-
they don't.
I'm
Got,
not
I don't
try-
care if they
I'm not
fed or
trying to
not.
suck a dick on a full
That
stomach.
got nothing to do with it.
That was the wrong
It's not
bag.
gonna
Everything gonna be
Yeah,
up.
and they eat before they get there. They got a little residue in their mouth and all that. Got, you know what I'm saying, rump roast on their teeth and all that. Don't eat before you come over. You know
I
what I'm
was
saying?
actually-
Fill up on
Right,
this
so
meat.
feed the hoes.
Nah, feed
See, the
theyself.
thing is,
Feed yourself
you
off
gotta think
yourself.
about it. We got bigger issues. If you come over at 1 a.m. and you ain't eat yet,
It's 'cause you a poor. Get out of here. I don't
we
want you.
got bigger issues.
Jesus Christ.
You're poor.
Take care of yourself.
We got bigger issues.
What type of what type of life you living?
You waited for us to feed
Right. I
you.
don't
Yes.
want you.
No, but you, okay.
I didn't know Uber had senior discounts. I'm a freshman.
Okay, let's get it real though. The
Okay.
release of those hormones, okay, the oxytocin release, the dopamine that's going in now. Now you got serotonin, the calm,
Yeah.
because we're gonna get educated about this
Now you got the
conversation.
munchies.
Actually
Yeah, she break it
drives
down.
up the hunger, my friend.
I love a
So,
smart friend.
Okay,
She break it
you
down.
got. You can't just say you can't be
So you get
hungry
hungry
without.
after.
Yeah.
Literally, food is my aftercare, nigga. Like,
Yeah, but that's after.
Hey, God bless you.
right. So
In
he's
your
saying
Uber.
she can't get no food.
Yes,
In your
yeah.
Uber.
Go
Nah,
make
I'm
another
not
stop.
no. You put, don't do me.
Not you.
Big
Yes, but that's
If
what
you
they
lucky.
do. So that's and once again, we taking it back to previous conversations, which is the women that are allowing this to happen because they
Yeah.
couldn't do it if you weren't allowing it.
Correct.
It's not even their fault. As much as I love to blame them, I
let it
have
go
to
down.
blame anyone.
You do. We got that clear on the last episode. You love to blame men, even though you say you're not trying to blame men. You love to blame them.
Woman that's tolerating that. If a man feeding you is such the bare minimum. That's just common courtesy. That's just basic.
Well, they should
like,
just come with 2 steaks. They come with it
That's
already.
true.
Feed me then. I'm the one.
why
Medium
are
well.
you opening your legs to a man that won't even get you Uber Eats? We're not even talking about sitting down and having a fine dining experience. He won't even feed you. He said you can't even get any water.
You
Why
got a
are you
protein
guys
bar.
Yeah, for what?
sleeping with him?
Because they like me. They're attracted to me. They like my personality. I'm handsome to them.
You're
I'm
a space
successful.
filler.
I'm all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm all of that.
You're
you
a
know what I'm saying?
space filler.
Hey, wanna-
With you when they get done with Rodney that broke their heart until they find William.
I like
that's
that.
gonna marry
I
them
like
and
to
sit
be the
them
space
down.
filler. Don't
like
keep
that.
me there. I like to be that space
Then how
filler.
you gonna find
That's
don't-
probably the best. That's probably the best role that you have.
Question
Right, I
off the
love
booty
that.
call topic.
I love that.
Off the booty call topic. What if you are missing the most amazing woman that God could have ever put before you?
Man, that's her loss
What if
more
you're
than
missing
mine.
you're missing your Bonnie?
I'm saying I'm good. Look how far I got by myself. I'm doing
But
excellent.
imagine if you just didn't know because you just didn't have that lobster roll, something simple.
Right.
Just
I
that
prefer-
power.
I mean, either way, he not finna get no God sent woman from no booty call. Either way, so yeah, no.
my freedom over everything. My happiness, personal happiness,
So you
and my
don't feel like
personal
there's a
freedom.
woman that can make you happy?
I didn't say it's. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying currently how I like to move and how I like to feel. I do what I want, how I want at all times, and look how far it got me now.
Who gonna take care of you when you get old?
Man, I gotta have money. I'm gonna have caregivers and whoever else I need. I could hire
Man,
some
that's
little horse to do it. They cheap enough.
Some little it's crazy. I hope all of you go on an organic strike and don't get him no for the
never
entire month.
They
Nah,
might
that's-
pass out and die in 1 or 2. They do
But we
that.
gotta be realistic. Like sometimes you just gotta
He
understand
called
that.
you
sometimes-
guys cheap.
Sometimes
Mhm.
you just
Very.
gotta understand that women actually like men.
That are pieces of shit.
See what I'm saying?
No, wait.
No.
Oh.
Because like some men actually like women that are pieces of too,
Yeah.
Mm.
right? And that woman didn't deserve not a steak, not a burger from McDonald's, but he's giving her everything, right?
Right.
So
What do you define as everything? You keep saying that. Like we had another
everything
I mean, it don't
conversation.
matter. You're trying to shift the conversation, but I like what he said there. Like, there is a lot of women out there that really like not shit dudes, and there's men out there that like not shit women, and you know they stay in these broken relationships. They stay in these hard relationships. You know, they take the bare minimum. You know, they take being the booty call rather than having him wife you up, not giving it up on the first night, not giving it up, period, until you're married. Like, you okay the bullshit. They like it. You know, something in them tells them that this is okay.
whatever.
No, but he's not. So in this instance, we're
Wait.
talking about a man who's saying he won't give everything. Sorry.
No, I
Stay on
am.
page
Half
with me.
these
Stay on page
niggas
with me.
ain't got nothing
No,
to give.
no, because I want.
Facts.
I genuinely want to understand, Rico.
We gonna leave.
Like, can you break down everything
I
for me?
swear I will. Just walk with me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I love
walk-
it.
come
Come
on,
on.
let's
Just
take a
walk
show.
with him.
So
Damn.
some women
Not with
actually,
you.
some women actually like men, right? And the same goes on both sides of the spectrum. But when a woman actually likes a man, what she typically would make him have to do vanishes,
Mhm.
right? So if she like me, you know, and she like him, I mean, she like me, but she don't really like him. He's gonna have to take her on 6 different dates. He's gonna have to shower her with a couple gifts, and he's gonna have to sleep next to her without getting any box for 2 nights before she actually gives him something. Now, let's say she really likes me. All of those standards then went out the way. She just likes me so much. She enjoyed being in my presence.
There we
which
go.
means she's gonna have sex. Now, can it be better if she gets more comfortable? Of course, I won't disagree. But that's not meaning that she's not gonna give me. That's not meaning she's not gonna give me good. She's still gonna give me good because she actually like me.
But let me tell you
What a
something.
blessing, right?
A girl that has a full belly has more energy.
She'll be
if you
Yeah.
go ahead and feed her first, she
Why-
just might
how she's
ride
not
because
eating
it
already?
Because to be honest,
I just
to
don't
be
get that
honest,
part.
Why is she hungry?
That's why I don't be getting like how
because
you
she
not
just
hungry
smoked
already?
a joint, bro. Like she's hungry. Get
Oh,
over
I
it.
don't like no hot.
I can tell you why
I don't
she
like
might,
no hot.
might be
bitches are.
hungry. I can tell you why.
Don't
I
worry.
can give you
I
two
am.
really genuine responses as to why she might be hungry. One, a lot of times women, when they know they're going out with men, don't want to eat because they're like, I'm gonna get bloated.
Yeah, you want that. They're not gonna force like
One.
that.
Two, they don't want to have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, you
Correct.
don't want that.
Okay. And sometimes they think, well, we're gonna eat later, so I don't want to get full.
Mhm.
So those are three qualified explanations for why a woman might not have eaten already, and it doesn't have anything to do with her being poor.
It doesn't
Okay.
At 1 a.m.?
because to the degree.
Bring a
At
Lunchable or
1
something.
a.m.
No,
Lunchable
but
is-
at
is
1 a.m.
Do you
yes.
like the whole?
So
I love
so
it.
I'll say this to you, Rico. Right, like that same first night I was talking about, I said I was going to work an event. Went to the event, and upon leaving that event, the first place we went was for food, right? And he was making sure that I ate, and it wasn't because I was broke. I was working. I was getting to the bag. I was in that mode. But I think the point that you made about certain things going out the window, I'm not gonna say you're completely wrong because there are a lot of women who will toss the standard in an instant for a guy who has compelled them. So we're not gonna sit here and act like nobody ever been dumb for that moment.
That's
and
not
said,
done
"Fuck
though.
it."
Like if we on some mutual, now let me get some understanding. Let me get some more context to it because it's not all women. We talking
Mhm.
about the ones that we're on just right.
Correct.
If it's more than that, it could be more than that. But we just that's what we doing. I'm asking you for nothing. You asking me for nothing. I'm giving you the best dick you ever had in your life. You give me some.
So that's your boundary, basically.
Yeah, that's what we on.
All right.
Let's
I
get some
mean,
understanding.
we are talking booty calls, but
Right, that's
but
what
I
we're
have a
talking
little
about.
bit of a different standard. But I think maybe that's the conversation up front. We need to know what we expect out of each
Man,
other.
we know what
going
it is. We ain't
into
gotta go
this.
all that
You know this.
conversation.
That's
No,
not true.
because that's where the
And the reason why the women are feeling, I guess, so uneasy about what organic is saying, and I don't agree with none of the lifestyle inputs that they're giving out at all. But the reason why it makes them feel uneasy is because most booty calls for women, they are getting attached to that man. And we can get even more graphic. If it's unprotected sex, they are definitely getting attached. I'm not even going to dwell too deep into how spiritual it is and how spiritual ties can work and all that good stuff, but that is a real thing. That's what I'll tell you for sure. It is a definite real thing. You know, sometimes we explain things in a simple term, but don't really know the depth behind it. When people say, oh, they must have been having sex unprotected, that's why that girl acting crazy like that. You know, that's a saying. There's a deep reasoning behind that, like literally scientific reason behind that. And for women, a consistent booty call, a dude that they're consistently sleeping with over and over and over and over and over again, it's very difficult for them to just see it as a booty call. Now, for some men, this is uneasy for them as well. It's not just, you know, women's part. For some men, it's uneasy for them as well. But I would say more so for women, just because, you know, what's connected to their heart. So in that sense, this is why these women feel uneasy about the type of conversation that these men are having with them. They're trying to give them the truth that a booty call is just it. You give me some, I'm giving you some. We both getting our gets. End of the day, bottom line, why we gotta go the extra mile, why we gotta take the extra step forward. Like why everything gotta be clear, why everything gotta be explained. What's understood doesn't have to be explained. That's why they say men so simple. It is, and it really is that simple at the end of the day, bottom line. But women want more depth to it. Why? Because it's more depth to them. For them, it's more depth to it. There's more feelings attached for me. I come over here. We don't just smash. Sometimes we have conversations. Sometimes we talk about our day a little bit. There's certain things about you that I like. I don't know why I like it. I'm comfortable in this space when I come here. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. You got to be comfortable to do that at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Like it's uneasy to be up late at night, right? And you going over somebody's house. You have to be very comfortable with that person. And you're very comfortable with that person. You're not comfortable like that with everybody. You may be giving it to everybody, but you may not be comfortable with like that with everybody. So it's more depth for you, for a woman. And that's why they can't really grasp this conversation and where it's going.
Lines
That's-
get
that's
blurred,
where
and that's where people
yep.
get messed up. People get messed up in the lack of communication.
Correct.
And I think a lot of times women will try to keep the energy in a certain space, so they don't want to have the conversation of, oh, what are we doing? Is this long term? And and whatnot. They just be going with the flow. But that going with the flow will get your heart broke. It will hurt your own
See, the
feelings
thankful for
because you
me.
have expectations.
Yeah, my
a lot of
world
the
already out
times,
there.
women. It's some women out here that's for sure just out here. For sure. But a lot of the girls that I know and that's trying to build, they're genuinely out here just looking to be their best selves and looking for a partner for real. If somebody tell them up front, hey, I'm just out here trying to knock down whoever at this point, I think that that it's fair that they're not gonna give it up, and it's fair they're gonna go a different direction with their life. But a lot of the times, let's be real, dudes don't be open about what they're really on.
If they find enough, we're gonna trick them a little bit.
That's manipulation, and in reality, that's a certain level of the R word that I don't want to say. Because if you have to manipulate somebody out of some coochie, you are no different than the person that held her down in the alley behind closed.
That's different.
That's next level. Baby. I don't know.
I know it's a hard pill to swallow, guys.
It ain't no hard pill.
Yeah, she went too far with that one. I'm not gonna say that. And some people even argue that because women are the lesser being, that it really should be that way. Like, we live in a whole different time now. Women have the wherewithal to really say no. It's not like a lot of these women don't have the covering that they had back in time. And I'll give you the example, right? Like, back in time, like, women had covering. Like, women just couldn't go out willy-nilly by themselves all the time. And like, if they were going to travel somewhere, there was a little brother or somebody, some male figure there with her to protect her, to make sure she's doing okay. Women were really protected back in time, right? But today it's not like that. See, in that time, like, if a man slept with a woman and they weren't married, like, his head was going to be on a platter. Because it's like you had to overpower this woman to get her to get in the position that he in. And it's not really even by force. It's just that, like, at the end of the day, he's a man. So she's going to say yes to him, or she's just going to follow track behind what he wants because he's a man at the end of the day. But did you marry her? Did you court her? Did you really go to the family? All this good stuff. So we don't live in that time today. So to say that to manipulate a woman out of coochie is great is crazy work. It's not like that today. Women have the wherewithal now. They have more freedom now. They have more liberation now. So to be honest, it may hurt for some people to understand that, but it's free game. That's why it's really, really important as fathers, as mothers, to be there for your children, be there for your daughters, to tell them, like, these are very things that you have to look out for, even when my back is turned. Because the true character is really pulled out of them when no one's watching them. You understand what I'm saying? That's what's going to keep your daughter, protect them. Their character when no one is watching them. But you have to instill those principles in them. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's women that men have tried to manipulate them out of their coochie, and they said no. At the end of the day, still. So it's not great. It's not great. Now, you want to say that, And this is the reason why some women will say stuff like this, is because they've been played out the poom poom. They've been played out of it. Dude that made her feel some type of way or whatever the case may be. And, you know, she got attached. She got in her feelings about this person. And shit, baby, I thought you knew what this was. It ain't what you thought. And now she's sour. Now to make herself feel comfortable, she have to call this grape. This is the type of situation that Mike Tyson got himself into. A lot of sports players get themselves into, where the woman see they have no chance with this person who's a rock star. Now all of a sudden it's grape. You crossing the line with that, Randy. And it doesn't surprise me because you continuously say the craziest shit, whether that's to get clicks or you really think like this. I don't know, but you say the craziest shit. That's all I can say. That's what I know. You'll say the craziest shit, and this the craziest shit I've seen you say on this podcast today. Good God Almighty. Let's see where it goes.
To swallow, that's some psychiatric ward type situation. You walk around thinking because a nigga,
if you have to game a girl out of
that's
coochie,
game of life. Like she
if
should
you
be
have
grown.
to game a girl out of coochie, you are just as bad as a guy that does physical.
Nah, that
harm
ain't
to
on the
somebody.
same spectrum. I don't know what it is.
Absolutely is.
What about when
Nah,
the
man.
girl games a
Right.
guy?
What's
What is
that?
that called?
That's the
It's called
R
a
word.
city
She's
girl.
the same thing.
It's called a
It's
thief.
called a city girl.
Right.
See, and the other women aren't saying the same thing. You're saying, oh, it's the same thing because they're calling you out on it. But the other women aren't saying the same thing. The other women ain't saying, whoa, 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 whoa. You see how women just have each other back, even if they don't even necessarily agree with their bullshit? That was a bullshit ass statement. Really. Because there are women out there that finagle young boys out of they. And nobody says nothing. Nobody bats an eye at the 35-year-old that want to mess with the 17-year-old star high school football player. Nobody bats an eye.
No,
Like
I will.
all these women be
Listen,
locked up dead. If
No,
that's
is that really no, Rico? If you being honest, I will call that a thief. Like that whole movie, was it called Hustlers or something like that?
Hustlers,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
With the woman that was
Grand
getting down
larceny
and all
after a
that.
certain amount.
Yeah, I'm like, how are we glorifying this? Because if it was dudes doing this to women, it'd be an issue.
It'd
So
been an
no,
issue.
you already know I'm an equal opportunity employer around this mother when it comes to serving
Mhm.
passes in this bitch. If it's guys, it's guys. If it's women, it's women. I think girls and guys be on shit with that. Period.
So we know Organic has never done this, so the question doesn't apply to him.
Mhm.
But Louis or Rico, Hondo, have you ever paid for ever?
Of course.
My nigga.
I paid for
like that.
What about you?
To a certain extent.
Oh, my nigga.
No.
But I'm not asking. I'm not like, hey, I got this for this. It just works out that way. Like,
Yeah, however it work out,
A
it work
date.
out. No.
Whatever the
Dinner.
exchange
No,
of
no,
currency
no.
is.
Still
Nah,
getting
that-
he's not
even though
going to.
that's true. No,
You know what I mean?
I paid. Like, how much do you cost?
No, not like
Where were
that.
you
That's,
at?
that's a prostitute.
That's what that means, though. I don't know what she was trying to go with that. Like, when you say, and I get what she was, never mind, I get what she was trying to go, but that's what you say when you talk about prostitution.
Dude,
That is a little bit.
Not
What
like
country
that.
were you in?
Not
I
like
thought
that.
that's what I meant when I hear pay for. How much do you cost?
Yeah,
Wait.
no, I knew what he meant. I
Delete
don't know what
that.
country were you in.
No,
He don't
keep
pay
it.
for ass.
No,
Oh, what you
what
mean?
country
How
were
you,
you
how you
in?
pay? How did you pay for it? What you mean?
What do you mean? How did I pay for
Oh,
it?
you said like how much?
Did you use cash or
I
card?
pulled out Google Translate.
You was okay overseas. Overseas for sure.
How much do you cost?
Like,
Were
I
you in another? Were you in another country?
Of course, many countries.
Okay.
But
You
I'm
said
not
many
talking
countries?
about like that
Yeah.
though.
Many of
I'm
them.
not what you
traveling.
I'm not talking about like that. Like that's normal. Everybody does that, right? Everybody.
I don't look
Tyra,
at that as-
Teddy.
yeah.
Everybody's done that before.
not you.
Everybody. That's normal, right?
When you overseas.
But in other countries, everybody's like, how much? How much? How much do you? How much? Right?
Do you want to come to
Besides,
America?
You want to sacrifice?
I'm like, you too much. It's crazy.
She said, "Do you want to come to America?"
Why they always add O's and A's on it? Like, you want to suck up my dick?
My dick.
Okay.
No, I don't mean like that. I mean, have you paid for it in the States where with a woman who speaks English and you just
A regular
I mean,
American
like
woman.
A woman who speaks English.
yeah.
Like
American
like,
Like, have you
prostitute,
ever
right?
tricked a little bit so you
She's
can get
struggling.
to
oh
it?
to
no,
explain
I
it.
never. See, the thing is, I'm not with the games.
Takes
Yeah.
that back.
I'm not with the
Remove
games.
Lewis,
If
what
I'm
about you?
Oh yeah, I said it's a date though.
My nigga.
It's a date.
Whatever, it's all right.
Like I
I've
never
never-
had that. I never
you
had
right.
that.
That's
I've
right,
never
Louis.
been-
Defend
but
yourself.
in all
You
honesty,
and
I never had that
organic.
courage to be like, yeah, but
I think we can hang them from this chrome up here, from the trust. We
Yeah.
can hang them right there.
I need mine that say 2,000 point score.
Yeah, me too. But my
That's
shit
crazy.
to be continued.
To be continued.
I'm still scoring out
Insane.
this
I gotta
motherfucker.
have some expectations.
And I'm not saying
on
this,
these booty
and I'm
calls,
not
though.
saying this in a braggadocious way, but I've never been on a date with a woman that I paid for before we had sex.
What you mean?
I like that,
Oh,
Rico.
Jesus.
Like,
Break it down
after-
for him. Break it down
after
what you
we
mean.
had sex, I might have taken her out on a date.
Right.
I need a new
You
seat.
got to earn the date,
But
right?
I never just said, "Hey, let's go on a date to get to
No
to
joke.
know
Yeah,
you."
you
That's
ain't
so
doing that.
that's sad. Y'all are really playing yourselves.
No, they
You're
ain't.
having sex with a man before you even getting
But I'm-
the money. Let's put the money on the back burner because that's food.
That's what it's about. I ain't gonna lie. I can just hear it in them. That's what it's really about at the end of the day. It's what you can get from them. You got to get something from them before you give. And I don't think it should be a date. I don't think it should be food. I don't think it should be money before you give up the poo nanny. You know what I think it should be before? Before you get that ring. Before you get this ring. Before you can get this dude to truly commit to you. I think that's your safe way. That's your safe bet. That's going to have you a promising, lasting relationship where you can build a beautiful family and have beautiful children and the white picket fence, like everybody like to say, quote unquote. But hey, everybody doesn't want that type of lifestyle. Understandable, but most of you do. Y'all just going about it the wrong way. And this shit, it's not going to work.
Food is not an investment,
It's-
right? So you're talking about just a standard conversation where you're getting to know a person and you listen to a man speak for 30 minutes,
Mhm.
unless he's on his dean to where he's trying to trick you
We're
out of
going
this
to be
world.
on that dean now.
He's gonna say or do something that's gonna show you
Who he is.
something. Even if you gotta act like you down with the bull, laugh for him like the homie. Like, yeah, you know them bitches be, and he gonna be like, hey, he gonna say something that's gonna show you that's where his mind is at. You need a conversation with a man in order
You
to
can have those
understand
conversations.
what
They're
kind
the
of man
best.
he is. Y'all should not be having sex with no man that you did not sit down and have a conversation with, whether it's a glass of wine and some bread that's on the table. You cannot do that. That is crazy.
Those are the
And
best
I'm gonna-
conversations.
And I'm gonna even go so far as to say, you doing it, you get what you deserve.
No,
Bro,
that's
which is
real
a blessing.
talk.
Those are the best
That's real
conversations.
talk.
When a
That's
girl
fucking
comes over
ridiculous.
and you just chilling on the balcony or something,
No.
looking over the water, having those
No.
good conversations, it could go on for
Mm-mm.
hours before you got take her on. You know what I'm saying, in the room and all
Oh,
that.
you talk to those?
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
On the balcony.
You gotta
you
have
ain't
on the
got a
balcony.
full understanding.
Okay.
I'm
And
not
after you
nobody.
talk to
Listen,
him on the
Okay.
balcony for hours, the door is right there.
Okay,
when y'all
that's
walking
true,
back
though.
in,
but let's
you
get
should
some
be heading
understanding.
towards
I don't
the
have.
door.
I don't
Because
have
all
a.
them hours he didn't order you
Nah.
nothing
He
to
ordered you
eat.
nothing to eat.
That ain't
Do
necessary.
you offer a bottle of water when you're talking?
If it's
He said
there,
they
if
can- you-
it's there.
Now, sir, you said
If
that
it's
they
not
can
there,
get
then
tap
it's not
water.
there.
No,
No,
that
if
was
it's
a
there,
booty
it's there.
call. It's different.
Yeah, if it's there, it's there. But if it's not, I'm going on my way. I
Yeah.
drink the water. Like I said, but end of the day, I never had a problem with women. You'll never hear no woman talk bad about me or none of that. So I'm never bad to women. I can sit here and have a long conversation with them, break it all the way down. We don't get understanding. And you're gonna like me even more. We sit there for them hours. So you kind of want to get out the way. Because now you're really gonna be bamboozled. You're gonna sit here and get on my intellectual properties, the wittiness and all this. You're gonna really love me after I drop that load in you. You know what I'm saying?
Don't
So
lie. Part of me feel like organic capping right here. I'm thinking about a video in the past, and I may be wrong, but he was talking about his financial situations because he was going downhill. That happened to people. And he was talking about how he would pay for pussy from time to time, and that was part of his down track of why the finances went down for him for a point of time. So I feel like he capping. I don't know, guys. You tell me. What do y'all know?
Your best to get out the way instantly. We can sit here and talk all you want to till the sun come up. I'm with it. I love to talk. I do this for a living. So that's the easiest thing for me to do, to have a great conversation and learn about your parents. You know about my life. We could do all that.
But you don't give a for real.
But no, I do not.
Is it hard to believe?
But once again, it depends on the woman, though.
That he's the way that he is, or is it hard to believe that the women are accepting?
It's harder to believe that the women are accepting it.
Why?
It's hard.
What can we
It's
do?
hard.
We can't do.
It's nothing that can be done.
It's
but
nothing to be
it's
done.
crazy that
Wait, hold
that
on, ladies.
Did not listen to Rico. Please help him understand.
ladies. Like, let's just say I think that we're going from 0 to 100, and we're
Right.
missing all the middle numbers, right? The numbers in between. Just because a girl really likes me, right? And now she doesn't require me to go out on a date with her, but that doesn't mean no effort is invested.
Right.
I might have to talk to her, let's say for a week or two, but I'm not talking to her. But I'm not talking to her
That's
just
a lot
like
of effort. Shit.
Yeah, I'm not talking. I'm consistent. Morning, night conversations, and we having great conversations for an hour and a half at night before she goes to sleep. She wakes up and then she's seeing my message first.
But you still have no feelings for her at all.
Of course not. But,
Of course not.
But I don't know her. She don't know me,
Right.
right? So I'm not gonna develop feelings for her. I'm just showing her my consistency and actually revealing who I am mentally to her. So if she likes me mentally, then she gonna have sex with me. But
And she
I
already
finally
physically
invite her.
attracted.
What's the indicator in that conversation that she won't be fed? Like, what do you?
The booty call. We gotta get off the floor.
Whatever.
Right.
We get into an argument about why you didn't drop off whatever.
Yeah, and I listening to Rico, like I'm really reflecting. Like it's like why? Like why do you do shit like that? Like why do you in this game? What he's talking about is game. Like whether he thinks it is or not, it's game. Like you having to get on the phone with this woman, talk to her for an hour, talk for 2 hours. You're not doing that because you care about her from the words that came out of your mouth, what you said. You're doing that because you're trying to get ass. So what? You got to play the game. I used to do the same shit. Get on the phone, get on a little dating app. Get on FaceTime. We get talking about shit. Get in a deep conversation. And after that, you know, she knows that I can have rapport. I can hold a conversation. I'm not a weirdo or anything like that. Let's go out. Let's meet up. Walk on the beach. Let's go get drinks. Or let's go get, you know, like a shake or something. Walk the beach. And it builds on from there. And it's like, why? Like, I know at the end of the day, I'm not going to be attracted to this person. I'm just sleeping with her. I'm just using her for her body. And she may be using me too, but it's like, for what? A nut? After that nut, there's so much clarity that comes. And you turn and you look at this woman and you sit there and think to yourself, what the hell was I doing? And sometimes she may be bad, but she lose 2 to 3, 4, even 5 points at times. Because the thrill ain't there no more. Yeah, that made me reflect, man. Like, that lifestyle there is never ending. And it's pointless. You know? I definitely recommend men and women to really require marriage as that forefront if that's something, you know, you're really looking for, if you're looking for a relationship, because all this sleeping around, dealing with women and tossing them to the side of the road, and women dealing with men on a quick pace, all you're doing is causing destruction for the people around, for the community. Change that up. So that's going to be the end of this video. I'm going to stop it right there. They got a part 2 coming out. I guess I'll react to part 2. Much love. Peace. See you on the next one.
Understanding, and then at that point we're gonna meet And when we meet, we're gonna have sex. After we have sex, then we go on dates. So there's two
Boom.
different situations.
But I don't
Do
understand.
you possibly
I
not
disagree.
care about that girl? You said, of course not.
Right.
No,
The
no,
booty
no.
call
You just
one.
asked me if I had
You
feelings
develop-
for
yeah,
her.
after talking to her for weeks, morning
No, feelings,
No.
feelings, and courtesy is different.
Yeah.
courtesy.
I'm courteous,
That's a really great point.
but I'm not.
That's a
feelings is-
really great point.
Yeah.
That's a really great
But
point. I
if
need,
you-
I
but
need
I
so
think you
much
can-
emphasis on that.
Mhm.
I need so much emphasis on that. He says there's a big difference between feelings and courtesy. Ladies, you guys need to stop confusing their courtesy with their feelings. They're just being polite.
They have to stop confusing their
No, we
courtesy.
have to because they
But
can't be
have
trusted.
They have to. No,
They cannot be trusted.
obviously, but
They
we
cannot
can't.
be
You
trusted.
can't say you
You
texting a girl good
bitches
morning.
need to be
good morning, my
courteous.
beautiful love goddess.
You
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
think
a
you're
good one.
gorgeous.
You bitches
and
need
you're
to be
be-
courteous
and he
right
said
back
that's
to
a
them.
good
That's a
one.
good one. I like that one.
That's not courteous. Being courteous is hey, you I might have had a flat tire at lunch and you came to help me out. But you
No.
texting me and making me believe that you are feeling me in a way emotionally than I am feeling you. I'm sorry. If
They're
you don't
not to
agree
be
with it.
trusted.
Well, I
No
don't
one
believe
does.
it.
They're
No
not
one
gonna
does.
be trusted.
I will say this. I
They're not
think
to be
that if
trusted.
he, one thing I have learned is not even just if he said it, if he hasn't said it, that's also something that you have to pay attention to because you can't form your own generalization about what their feelings are.
Exactly. Great point. You can't formalize what you think they feeling, or just because you feel some type of way and put that on to them. You can't do that. I'm gonna get into what you really should be doing, but we're gonna let it play out. But Randy's completely off here. Completely off. If you really feel that you got stolen from in this exchange, you need to take responsibility. You need to take accountability. You opened your legs up to him. You didn't have to, but you did. Now he's being super nice and being all super nice. So guys need to differentiate between courtesy and feelings to the women. They don't owe you that. They don't owe you that at all. But I'm gonna let it play out.
Are. If they have not verbalized it, then don't.
And
Oh,
even
I
when they
feel
do
like he might-
verbalize it, do not believe them.
And that's weird. But we always got to understand that
The
some
actions
women,
have to
that's
be
the weirdo.
congruent.
but we always got to remember that
Wow.
some women just want to have a good time too. So you
Yeah.
And that's a good point too. The man needs to show with their actions how they really feel about you. With their actions, it's going to tell you the truth of whether they really like you, really want to be with you or not.
can't
That's
just knock
true.
those
Yeah,
off.
that's
The, you
true.
know what I'm saying?
That's
So
true.
like,
Yeah.
there is women that just want to have a
But
good
that
time
goes
with a guy
back
they're
to the
attracted
statement
to.
you said earlier, because what she made the point about having a clear communication about what
Right.
y'all doing. You was
Uh-huh.
like, nah,
I mean, that's unnecessary though.
but what you just
Obviously,
said
it's
is
not.
necessary
Right.
because in order for me and you to understand that we just and I don't expect nothing else, you don't expect nothing else. You got good dick, my hit, my head hit, you slobbing, you know.
Mhm.
Then that's the understanding, but that understanding isn't accomplished without a conversation. So what I'm saying is, if I'm with a, I don't give a we talking, or we were just a booty call,
Mhm.
I'm gonna make sure it's clear and known
Right.
that I expect to be treated a certain way.
Right.
If that treatment is not on your list or what you gonna get with, then you can
You should go your
kindly
separate ways.
yeah.
There's been times when girls come at that like, okay, what are we going to be serious? And you would tell them like, no, I ain't on that. I'm just living life, having
Cool.
fun. You would tell
And I
them, you know
think
what I'm
that's a
saying?
big mistake for a woman to even ask a man
Agreed.
because, and they're going to do it regardless. But I think that when a man feels away,
He shows
his
it.
actions are going to show. You're not even
That's
going to
true.
have to ask him. And text good morning every day and good night, baby, are not it.
It's not it.
That's not it, because I'm going to tell you, I know for a fact that they will text multiple women the same messages.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
You're
group
not
text.
special. Men think about sex so
how
many
you do it.
times throughout the day. Every time he messages you is because the thought of sex is passing his mind. It's not because you're special. You need actions.
Ouch.
You need actions to show you
Mhm.
what he's feeling. And then you need consistency with those actions. Women, you
100%.
have to stop having sex with these men and you have to stop believing them. You have to, else we can't feel sorry for them no more.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Some
And-
women
and
just
to your
deserve
point-
that. There's some women that do and some don't. You know what I mean?
I'll say
Every
this
woman
to
doesn't
your
deserve all the.
point. It's also like you said, actions have to be congruent with the words. or whatever that like. So I 1000%. My grandfather always said, never believe what a man says, only what he does. But what I
Which
will
is still
say
a
is
lie.
she's right about.
Yeah, he was
And-
lying. He was running
He's
game
still
on you.
alive.
Hold on.
No,
Hold
sorry.
on.
They'll do the most.
Let me
just for
finish my
nothing.
statement.
That nigga was running game too.
Let me
Shout out to
finish
him.
my statement. Let me finish my
Lock him
statement.
up, bro. You
Because
right?
at the end of the day, something Ross said
Lock
that's
him up,
kind of
man.
going over the heads that I want to surface to the top is that there's a consistency. At the end of the day, a liar always reveals that they're a liar if you sit around and watch long enough. So at the end of the day, you eventually putting up this act is going to get a little tiring for you for someone who's just a
Yeah.
But I will say I agree with that. Like, if I'm being honest, that same night that I referenced, we had sex, whatever the case is. I mentioned casually in a conversation that my hip was hurting because I'm curvy. And if I don't sleep and turn my position or have like a pillow between my legs, I wake up a little bit sometimes feeling it. And that day I was laying down, and before he left to go to work, he slid a pillow between my legs because I fell asleep without one. Right now, it might not seem that significant,
It is.
but at the end of the day, that was a small detail.
It is.
Such a goat.
That could have been
Right.
game too.
Yo, that's game right
We're
now.
still here.
What are you talking
Rico,
about?
Rico, we're here
that.
2 years later. It's not game.
Okay,
Yeah,
you got lucky. You
No,
got lucky.
no, I didn't get lucky. I'm
You got
no
lucky.
organic. See, y'all
Slide
be
the pill. I done
standing
did all
there
type of
listening
shit
to
like that before
respond.
too.
No.
Y'all so quick to listen.
You ain't got lucky with that. You got lucky just the whole circumstance that you in, that y'all lasted 2 years. Yeah, because that ain't common.
To respond.
Freaking predator.
I want you to
Yeah, top
understand
level.
the key word because y'all
That's one
missed
of my
this.
favorite movies.
Hold on, organic, because y'all missed the key words is consistency. So my
Crazy work. Now she calling him a predator. Then doing like this, trying to hide your hand through a rock. Now she trying to hide her hand. Organic let the shit slide, so he ain't really trying to put pressure on her like that. But there you go with that bullshit, calling somebody a predator, cause you feel like you getting the short end of the stick. You just got played. Take your L, move on.
thing is just because he did one action doesn't mean that I'm swallowing up everything. But if you are consistently demonstrating certain actions that are a direct evidence of your care for me, then that is when we have a track record. A lot of girls give it up before they have a track record, or at the end of the day, if I'm in a situation where I just want to and that's what I'm in it for. Women don't think that we don't think about sex just
Of
as
course
much
you
too.
do.
But what I'm saying is, like Ross said, consistency is gonna really fucking show it over time.
And
you're
after
gonna-
he slept with her, he didn't have to slide the pillow.
He
He
did.
could have just left.
He could have just
Yeah,
left.
that was
But
the
like-
And you
game.
wouldn't
But-
have even, if you think about it, that was if he wouldn't have slid the pillow, that wouldn't have meant that he cared any less.
Right.
Right.
But the fact
because
that he did slide the
Extra
pillow showed
labor.
how much
Now,
he was
and how he
listening
was
to what
paying
she's
attention
saying.
to when I said it in an
Yes.
insignificant conversation. I just randomly said my hip is hurting.
Mhm.
he's just listen. Any good man,
Mm-hmm.
and by good, I don't mean like treat women good. I mean good as in the ability to get women.
Right.
Pays attention to the details.
Of course.
That's the one thing that deciphers a good hunter and a weak one.
For sure.
So wait, hold on. So
Go ahead.
when we pay attention to the details, y'all got to understand our process of deciding whether or not we're going to be with you is entirely different than y'all's. So I might talk to you for 2-3 weeks. You might tell me that your hip hurts if you sleep a certain way. And then I actually am now starting to like you. So now I'm starting to actually do those little things that you said.
That's my point.
But
Right.
wait. I said I'm starting to like you. I
Mhm.
haven't committed myself to liking
and neither
you.
have I.
Okay, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about a man right now, right?
Right.
So because of that, like you can actually, that's why a lot of times girls would be like, don't act like you my boyfriend and then don't want to be my boyfriend.
Yeah.
Well, something happened in this process that when I was courting you and trying to vet you, where I decided that this doesn't fit for me, but I thought I could. So like a man will go throughout the whole journey of getting to know a woman because he believes it could be the one that he's going to actually keep. Then he'll go to the point of paying attention to the details so then that way he can implement what he can do for her. And then at some point she's doing something consistently, or maybe she did something one time that just turned them off. Right. So like and then it looks like we ghosted you. It looks like we are lying. It looks like we pulled the mask off. But a lot of times, like you really ruined it for yourself with that man. And you don't even know what you did because he doesn't care to actually communicate it.
Oh,
Why
Randy, please,
why
go ahead.
can't we communicate it?
Well, who, him?
Yeah.
Because at that point in time, he's like, it's a waste of time. Like you got like a smart man
You already invested
understands
the time.
like there's nothing that you guys can rebound here. If he decides, once a man pulls a plug, he pulls a plug.
That's
It's over
fine.
with.
Pull the plug, that's fine. What's so hard about communicating that you're pulling said plug, opposed to you just ghosting somebody as a man? Like,
Well,
what's so hard about communicating as a man?
There's nothing hard about that. He can easily communicate that to you. He does not owe you that. There's nothing in contract that he owes you the explanation of why he's losing feeling, why he's about to leave, why he doesn't want to talk to you anymore, or why he even wants to continue it. He doesn't owe you that. He don't owe you that at all. He didn't confess under God to be committed to you. He didn't confess under the family to commit to this booty call or this can't even talk, situationship. He didn't commit to anything to be able to say, I have to communicate this to you. He doesn't have to do it. He does not have to do it. You played yourself. As DJ Khaled would say, when you in your mind thought that he had to, you played yourself. And, again, going back to what you said first episode or for part 1 and calling a homie a predator, you're just a sore loser. You don't want to take your L and move on. You are holding the L right now. Because what? Women do lose value by sleeping around with a whole bunch of men in the second sexual marketplace value or SMV, whatever it's called, right? Whatever everybody's calling it. They do lose value that way. And men kind of don't. It is what it is. There's double standards for men and women. And you're taking a huge L because you're not getting a commitment for how you feel.
Man.
Well, I'm gonna say communicating in this conversational piece is what I'm understanding is to actually list what's the reasons, right? Not communicating saying, hey, this is not going to work out for me or whatever the case. It's just listing what's going on.
No. I would. The second one is absolutely fine too.
Okay,
Right.
well, yeah, he might.
But sometimes when we hear about these ghosting stories with people dating and then suddenly, no one's talking to each other anymore and people just left out hanging whatever. Like, what's so hard about just saying, hey, you know what, this really ain't my cup of tea no more. I'm
really
gonna go
don't
this way
care.
with
It's
it.
like that's too much effort to list all these,
It was,
different problems.
but it wasn't too much effort to be texting me
Yeah,
every
that's
day. It
easy.
wasn't too much
That's
effort
the
to be
contradiction in
Yeah, I
fucking
don't
me.
care
It
that
wasn't
much.
too much
Yeah,
effort
that's
to be
simple.
dating.
That's
Cash, I want to
simple
ask you a
stuff.
question.
Yeah, we just don't
What
care.
do you
That's
take
weird.
from the
Yeah, just don't
statement
care.
that they just don't care?
That's what it
right?
boils down
What do
to.
you take from that? What is
What I-
that?
what
What
I-
did
what
I say last week's episode?
that they
that
should,
what?
That they should be saying.
That what?
No, it is
That
true
what?
that she said they ain't. But
what we need to
Choose
understand
wisely.
is that you need to come together
Use your
and you need
discernment.
to let
Run
that
from
set
this
in.
nigga.
Run to
Even
me
when
and
you're
get blessed.
madly in love,
ASAP.
even when you are looking at this person saying they're this and they're that and they've been great, just know that the core of them is that they ain't.
You know what's so funny about that, Rob?
Okay,
My man
just
will say
know.
that.
Could it
He
be
will-
that
he
y'all
will-
shot
he will-
yourself in the foot?
Hold on now,
Yeah,
Rico.
by picking a guy that's not,
Hold on now,
you know what I'm
Rico.
saying,
Now
that you
blame
shouldn't be
us.
fucking
Should
with.
we all sing a song so
why
we can
is he not
respect the mic?
But why is I'm so
Because
sorry.
he just
Yes.
said
Okay,
he
and I'm
can
gonna call
apply
you
the
on my
effort.
girl. I love you, but
He can
you know,
apply
she
the
asked me a
effort to
question.
bamboozle her, but he can't apply the effort to have a conversation with her, to be on the same page, to have an understanding.
Yeah. That
Which
Which takes
that
far
takes
less
caring.
effort than the latter because is crazy. Y'all got to stop acting like y'all don't know that too.
I ain't
So
have
when
no
a
problem with no
when a
woman.
girl has a little bit of a crash out on your and then you dealing with other stuff later, then you quick to be like she was 7:30 and da da da.
Most time you already know
But
that though. You signed up for that.
Sometimes you do, but people have real strong
But you
representatives.
can tell. You can tell.
But a little bit, because everybody got a little crazy and y'all like it. But to Rod's point, I'll tell you the truth. My man has directly said that he calls himself a villain. He calls himself an asshole, and he chooses not to be that way with me. So you're 100% right about that,
Right.
because at his core, a lot of that you don't give a about is evident. So it is a choice.
Mhm.
It is a choice.
So now I'm glad that we're having a coming to Jesus moment.
I still gonna come at you
The
though.
root cause of this, you just told me that your man today
Mhm.
is a said villain or was a said villain, and he's choosing consistently, daily, not to be that with you,
Yep.
which means it's you that is providing reason for him not to be
Correct.
what he is.
Yeah.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is when a man does that and he pulls that plug, it's because that woman has demonstrated that something that is no longer valuable to him or something that he does not like or align with.
I don't
Yeah,
disagree
pretty
with you, Rico. I think the problem that I'm having with the conversation is y'all started going into a man showing his love and his commitment and his consistent, all these things, right? Hold on, hold on,
Man, show 'em
hold
love
on,
now.
hold on. Hold on.
Consistency.
Feelings. Let's use the word feelings
I said
because that's what we spoke
courtesy.
about.
I said
Let me
courtesy.
say this. You said courtesy versus feelings. But my point is, if we're going back to the original topic
Mhm.
that started all of this, that spun out of control, because my ADHD was working real good just a little while ago. I made a statement to Organic that you responded to that took us down this rabbit hole. And when he was speaking, he directly said he don't think communication is necessary in a booty call because she had said, why can't we just have some clarity about it, right? And understand what we're doing. He said that's not necessary. I said, absolutely. Even if it's a booty call, we should at least understand what we're expecting about this encounter or not. You jumped in, right? And that's when you started getting into the relationship dynamics of the conversation. That's never where we were.
Actually, that's
I
not
like people like
but-
you.
but-
You bring that whole
No, but
conversation back.
the-
Like,
the
no,
pro-
actually, what you said was.
No, the problem is none of that actually happened in sequential order, and we have the tapes to prove it. So I will say, as a good friend of Cash, let's not go with that narrative because it's completely incorrect.
Thank
If
you,
you would
Rico.
like, I could break down the sequential order.
Break
of
it
how
down
we
for
even
it,
got
brother.
here.
Well, let's continue here, right? Because
Okay.
we can do that. And again, we all friends. Just on the contrary, y'all.
This
Yeah,
is-
So
yeah.
we
They're
here
gonna
to
be like, that's
contradict.
actually not
right.
how it happened. But go
It's-
ahead.
no, because
back in my head
y'all
right
were
now.
a little bit the tensions were high. Y'all was broing. Y'all was bro, right? So
we
y'all
never even
got
shook each other's hands.
y'all got
Yeah, we
right.
ain't do no high fives.
Y'all
Y'all
didn't
damn
necessarily
near
high five, but because
That
she's
was
in
the
the middle.
energy.
But yeah,
That was the
And
energy.
at that point when y'all did it,
Projecting
Brandy said, "I
things.
need a new seat." Right? Did you hear what she said? That and
I
the
didn't
mic
hear
can
her
run
say
it back in
I
case
didn't
y'all
hear it.
need
I
to.
didn't
It's,
hear it.
I
it's
definitely
recorded,
said
my
that.
friend. So what I'm
You
saying to
listening
you
to
is,
her, not us.
no, I was
Good.
listening to everybody. See,
As
that's what
the
you gotta,
audience would
right?
do too.
Exactly. You got to know how ADHD brain work. Meaning, I could process a lot of information at one time.
Or
So
mix
what
it
I'm
up.
saying is, while I was watching y'all have y'all bro moment,
You
I
better
heard
shut
her
up.
say, "I need a new seat" because of how hard y'all was going at.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
She's
All
gonna
I'm
beat you
saying,
up.
Rico, you're not wrong
I don't
about the
know her yet.
relationship
Relax.
aspect. But the original conversation was about booty calls. So
Yes.
we're still on a rabbit hole about what a man does when he's in love. This is a conversation about is we fuck it or not.
Yeah,
So
that's where we at.
No, so all right, yes. So the conversation again to revisit for you and everybody else, we were going off of when I said I have not been on a date prior to having sex, and then I completely made sure we were all in understanding that there's two different types of scenarios for two different types of women that have two different types of trajectories from a man. Now, if you got lost in the context,
No, I
I can
didn't.
understand.
I didn't.
Now, a booty call does not actually do or have the same trajectory that we're talking about right now. So just so you can be clear on everything going forward, no, she doesn't deserve communication. The
Doesn't.
booty call does not deserve it. She comes here, she gets called to have sex, and then she goes home.
Yeah.
Okay, if that clears that up.
for clarity,
Not
for
even a
clarity.
peanut butter and jelly
because
sandwich.
because
No,
to
this
be
in the
honest
house.
with you, Rico, I wasn't lost at all, and I understand where you're saying the separation, but the original communication conversation is where we started. So now that we're back there, I'm happy we are, because you don't feel that communication is necessary. Me even texting you to come over at 1 a.m. is a communication. I don't know if we can all agree
Bare
that that's a form of communication.
Bare minimum.
And yeah, bare minimum. That's how you feel, right? This is a conversation for all of us to understand our viewpoints around booty calls. So I said, I think at minimum, a communication to understand. If I'm expecting a meal and you're not looking to offer one, let's know that up front so we don't have to waste each other's time.
I mean, if that conversation comes up, it could be easily, you know what I'm saying,
right.
communicated, but most time it doesn't. And most of these situations, like most of them are just quick and fast. It's not really
Mhm.
more detailed to that. It's rarely that I've been in a booty call situation when a woman be like, okay, I'm trying to figure out where we are. It's already understood.
Oh, no,
it's
not
very
where we
rare.
are.
You know what I'm saying? It's very rare that it goes to that transition because they know the guy I am. I'm upfront. Everybody see me on social media. I've been doing this shit for 8 years. So nothing about me is hidden.
So you won't feed your,
I'm not,
your booty
I'm not the
call.
R word to nobody because they know who organic is. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's out here in the world. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And that's how they're attracted to me, of my realness.
Listen, I'm sorry that me saying that, I view predators of all kinds in the same type of way was triggering to you.
Yeah, I don't
but
like
maybe
that.
you should sit with yourself and dissect what is it about what I said that triggered
It don't
you.
trigger nothing
and
on
maybe
me.
you
It's
should
all
be
the
a better
guys in the world. I
person.
don't want these
Maybe
guys
you
walking
can be a
around and
better
feeling
person
like
tomorrow.
I'm a great person.
I want every guy that's walking around pretending to be somebody
Hey,
they're
I
not,
don't know what happened
that's
to you in your
getting
life. You had a sneaky
coochie.
uncle or something, did something
I
to
didn't
you
have
that
a
got
sneaky
nothing to do
uncle,
with
and
me.
what we're not going to
You know
do
what
is
I'm saying?
throw people's
I'm just
triggers
saying.
and molestations
I'm just
into their
helping you
face.
understand that got nothing to do
It's
with me.
not that.
Ain't nothing to do
What
with me.
happens is if you have to
What did I say earlier? Throwing rocks, they want to hide a hand. So you attacked Organic with what you said. He slid something back your way. Now it's a problem. What we not finna do? How you gonna tell them that? You started it. You threw the rock.
put on a representative
Yeah, you got to.
sleep with somebody,
You got to sometimes.
you are a piece of
Yeah, you could be that. That's fine.
Period.
You can say that, but don't say the other one. We
I
okay
can
with
actually
that.
say whatever the I want to because I'm a grown
God
ass
bless
woman.
You. Yeah, you
Amen.
can. You know what I'm saying? Deal with what you got to deal with. I
Detroit
don't.
in
Ain't
this
nothing I do. I live my life free. You know what I'm saying? You don't.
No.
Ain't nothing holding me
Who
back.
don't?
You don't.
What?
You know what I'm saying? You trigger because you fell for guys giving you some little finagle and you got
Come
triggered. That's all
on
your
now.
business. Step your
I'm
game
triggered.
up.
You're the ones that's
Come on now.
It's a conversation. It's a conversation.
I would also
So whatever
say,
happened to you, that's something you got to
I
deal
would
with.
also
I don't.
say that
That's all it is. Because you keep bringing up this conversation to where it has to deal with the equivalency of being raped or molested. This conversation ain't got nothing to do with that. We talking about grown people who is acknowledging and accepting that, oh, this is a booty call. Oh, we just, we come here, we have sex, we go home. Somebody caught feelings, and now that they feel like they got the shorty end of the stick. And this happened to men too. Does that mean they got raped too? Like, your logic is so out of fucking whack. You always saying crazy shit. Sometimes, you just ought to slow your roll before you say something. It's okay to have disagreements and stuff like that. But when you get to saying shit like this, right? Because this can tarnish somebody's character. This can get somebody beat the fuck up in the neighborhood. Like, I don't know if y'all ever been in a community where they all jumped on the uncle that was touching on the little baby, or the dude that's weird and he touched on the little baby, and everybody went around and jumped on his ass for doing that shit. But that's what that kind of shit does. And just pointlessly aiming at people that they're a rapist, I think that's fucked up, Randy. I think you went too far. I think you crossed the line, going below the belt there. And who knows? Maybe you do this in other aspects in your life as well. You willing to do it on a podcast?
that how y'all handle booty calls are also not, to me, a reflection of how every man does.
That's a fact.
So I hear what y'all are saying, because I've
at the
had
top with it.
plenty of instances with guys who were repeated booty
Boom.
calls, and we had communication, we had understanding, and when the situation was no longer was going to work for both of us, we were clear about that,
Yeah.
and we was able to sever ties, going about our ways, and enjoy the time that we each other.
So you had booty calls with decent human beings.
That's what I'm saying.
That sounds great.
Cash, my question for you is, what's the difference between a booty call and a sneaky link? And
The slick
did
shot.
your situation with that man kind of have a blend of both, or was it strictly on one side of the
It was
thing?
strictly on one side, because here's what you have to understand. There's an assumption that all women are having booty calls and they're going to catch feelings, but some women are at a place of knowing that they're emotionally unavailable, right? At that time, I was not looking for an emotional attachment. I was looking for an itch to be scratched, because coming keeps me happy with my children. That's quite frankly.
We'd like to be happy around
Yeah.
us.
That's some
You
real
know,
shit.
I
Cash out
just,
the bag.
if I'm being honest, them little trying my patience all day. So if I nutted, I'm in a better mood. Hey, baby, what do you want for dinner tonight? You can have grilled cheese. You can have chicken nuggets. You can have beef stroganoff if you want. If I just nutted last night. So I'm just being straight. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's kind of crazy. She a mom and she talking like this. I don't know how old her kids are, but like, I'm like, I go on the show and see my mama talking. It's like, man, crazy work. That's crazy work.
Is that how the toy line came about?
That's how. Listen, and I'm gonna be in the kitchen cooking with a panty vibrator and listening to Baby Shark
Damn.
vibrate.
Crazy work.
You're dripping all down the
When
leg.
is
Dripping down the leg.
It's in a couple days, my Pisces.
I want to ask you guys a question while we're on this topic. Okay, it's really really interesting. I want to run this play. Why do you guys think, right, that women choose to tolerate this type of behavior and worse from men, but when they have friendships and a woman does something they don't like,
They're cut off.
they're so disposable? Why?
Are you asking the
I
guys?
think-
You're asking the
Everybody
dudes?
talk
I
about
think
it.
women hold their friends to higher standards than they do their mates and their spouses.
Mm.
Like with a friendship, I should be able to be myself 100%. You should be able to be yourself with your spouse too. But your girl, like you could tell your girl your deepest and your darkest secrets. But I do think in that same breath that girls are too quick to cut their friends off for those violations because a lot of us don't know how to communicate. I think that women don't make the best friends, especially to one another. I think that sometimes, in my experience, especially when it comes to female friendships, especially if you're a person that's constantly elevating and trying to be your best self and the better version of yourself, if you don't have women around you that's like that, that's growing and leveling up too, animosity, jealousy, and things like that's going to come about. Now, when it comes to why do they date people that they don't necessarily have a future with, and why they give themselves to people they don't have a future with?
No, why would they tolerate it? So, like, let's say me and you are we best friends or we're homegirls, whatever.
Right.
We get a
Because she really like him. Simple. Women do it all the time. When they really like a man, they tolerate a lot of shit. They kind of like a dude, they're not going to tolerate certain things. They're not going to hold them to certain standards. Like the dude that they kind of like, the standards they have for him is right here. Then the dude that they really like, and he may not call her for the whole day. You know, he may be saying bitches and hoes, and she don't really like being around dudes saying bitches and hoes all the time, but she tolerated from him because she really like him. That's why. So it's simple.
into an argument about why you didn't drop off whatever. I asked you to drop it off, whatever, something, whatever. You'll be like, I ain't with that no more. She got me up.
Mhm.
But your nigga could cheat on you over and over again, and you cry and get back with him.
A lack of
Why is the
communication. I think
toleration level so
in real
different?
life communication.
Okay.
I think that a lot of women just don't know how to communicate with their other female friends. But when it comes to a man hurting their feelings or, you know, doing something to them to violate or whatever, it's almost expected. We live in a misogynistic society that teaches us how many aunties you done had conversations with. The first thing they're gonna tell you is, oh, all men cheat. As long as he paying your bills and he coming home, baby, you good. All the OGs tell us like that. So this society has already set us up to expect a certain level of failure when it comes to our relationships. Not with our friendships, though. You look up, friendships have been presented as perfection. The Golden Girls, even with like shows like Moesha,
yeah.
she was a bad friend, like a mug, but her friend still stood beside her. You see, when you look at what especially our community is shown when it comes to love, it's constantly struggle. Look at Baby Boy. That movie is played on BET every freaking Saturday a month since I was 12 years old. You feel me? We're growing up glorifying the bull crap when it comes to love, but when it comes to actual friendships, we see perfection, but we don't see conflict resolution.
You know,
Wow,
I can
was
see
an
that.
excellent response.
And you know what I
Brandy.
think too? So
Excellent.
there's emotional intelligence, right? Just awareness, first of all. But I think with the other part of it is the management of expectations. If anything, I've noticed is that a lot of times women don't have a good example of what proper love or treatment looks like. But you might see your mom, or especially if you have people around you who weren't in happy relationships, or you didn't have a lot of good examples of that to see, you are figuring out what that's supposed to look like in a relationship as you're going through it. Whereas friendships, like you said, they do model it a lot on TV. I don't give a fuck if you're a Disney kid or whatever. It's like ride or die, X, Y, and Z. So I get that, but I do agree with you, Rod. I feel like if anything, though, I don't think that it's a fair standard. Like my friend and I have constantly had circumstances where we had to come together and be like, in this relationship right here. But we recognize that the value of this friendship outweighs the circumstance. And I don't ever let a temporary emotion cause me long-term friendship. That's the other thing.
Maturity.
Impulsivity is another thing. Literally, so you and your feelings for 2 seconds. So this who listen to you cry about every nigga that did you wrong is suddenly I can't with you. This who done supported your dreams, listen to you babble on about all the things you want to do, wish you could do, is suddenly bull. But this nigga who wouldn't feed you after he you.
Don't do that.
He want to come over again.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying y'all, but real talk. These guys, that guy will get more chances.
Come back
that
over.
guy,
She know it.
that guy will get more chances, right? Because you just still baiting onto Cinderella's dreams that he gonna come on.
I might change my mind and take it further, huh?
That nigga gonna show with a glass slipper that happens to fit
Never
you.
gonna happen.
You know what I'm saying? But
Randy and Cash, that was phenomenal.
Hold on,
What
let
do
me
the guys gotta
let me
say?
answer that shit.
Get in there, Lou.
What you got, Lou?
Expectations.
What you got, Lou?
What women expect from their friends versus what they expect from the men is totally different. You see how y'all be like, men ain't. That's the expectation going in. So if he ain't, you already know he ain't. But your girl's supposed to be there to hold you down. You're gonna be like, you shouldn't have done this versus the man, I expected you to do this. To me, that's
don't make it right. That don't
it
make
doesn't
it right.
make it right, but that
Doesn't make it right, but you asked that question though, and that's the answer. You see, another thing I'm noticing with these women on this podcast here, they answering the question, they giving you the game, they giving you their thought process, but you don't want to accept it. And that's why a lot of women out here go out here gameless. They want to argue about the truth, which right in front of them. You want to argue with someone that wants to tell you, look, this how men moving out here. This how you need to avoid them. You want to argue with a person who doesn't want to be morally correct or doesn't want to explain themselves in a booty call. You want to argue with that. No, who are you? They don't owe you nothing. And that'd be the problem. That's why y'all walk around gameless, talking shit, talking about niggas ain't shit, because you ain't got no game. You don't understand the game.
You should have the same
to answer the
patience you got for
question,
these
I feel
niggas.
to answer the question, I feel that's
Mhm.
why women accept it from a man versus from their own friend. I've seen it firsthand. Oh, she did this to me. She did this to me. You complain to that girl about this nigga all the time. The nigga do 100 things over, and you still run back to him. As soon as she do that one thing, guess who you run into? The dude.
So it's like you feel like they set the bar higher for the person who's more there for
Y'all
them
say it every day.
than it.
Randy, I just met you, but every week niggas ain't.
I don't actually say
All right, but we
That's
say
Rob.
it more often
Rob
than not.
says it.
We say it more often than not.
That's Rob.
So if you're
We got
thinking
definitely
that-
3 episodes.
That's
at
my
least.
girl, but I don't be saying
If
it.
you're thinking
I'm raising
that,
3 little at home. I gotta hope they're gonna turn out to be
Yeah,
something.
come on now.
Okay.
motherfuckers gonna show you who they are off rip.
Yeah.
So as soon as you think he's dipping out, oh, he was gonna do it anyway. Versus going in there with a clean slate, clean heart, fresh, and being like, you know what? Maybe this can work. Y'all already thinking that. It
Expecting
took
him-
forever for me to make my wife think that I was on a straight and narrow. Forever.
What did you feel like you had to do to get her to actually let that guard down?
Just be consistent. But I was ready to slow the fuck down. Like my brothers here, they're just maybe not at that.
He shouldn't have to. Kudos to him. I'm glad thing working out. Their marriage is working out. That's good. He shouldn't have to. It's not fair to him that a woman is bringing baggage to their relationship. Oh, I can't trust you because of the way the niggas done me. No, you got to heal from that. We can go forward from there. Now you can use what that past relationship has taught you to move forward, but don't put that as baggage on me. You don't really know me or understand me to know that I'm really going to be here for you or not. Truly get to understand who I am as a person. It's not fair for you to throw your old ass baggage onto a new human being that's trying to come in your life and actually be there for you. It's not fair to them.
That space, and there's nothing against them. Me,
Right.
at the time in my life, I just was ready to settle down. I
It's
wanted to
everything
slow my
against
shit
them
down.
niggas.
Say it again.
And then she married, saying bullshit like this all the damn time. Them niggas, y'all niggas. But when the niggas say y'all bitches, it's a problem. It's a big ass problem.
Set
Get
up
what you
love.
put out.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding
It
a
just
little
is
bit.
what it is. Sometimes gotta happen in a man's life. I just had other things going on. I had 3 children. You know, I wanted to go back to school. There were certain things I wanted to do, and I feel like I needed that level of support. And I was like, you know what? To get that, right, I needed to become something that maybe I wasn't ready to become, or demonstrate that to the bare minimum. And I did that. And here we are.
I think that I'm not gonna say I think, I know I have never met a woman who had great friends and was in a bad relationship ever.
That's
Usually
interesting.
all those friends that she has are terrible friends, or either contradictful friends, or her and them are not, they don't even respect each other's discernment or decision making. Every woman that I met that had a good, solid friend group that was filled with good women
Ain't had no
had
man.
good relationships.
Oh.
They had a good relationship, and they would not, because I think that your friends are really a reflection of you. And sometimes people don't want to accept that their friend is a terrible person because they make excuses because they love their friend.
Mhm.
But now your friend is a terrible person, and although you might change, that terrible person is still inside you too. And maybe every so often, it could be once a year, it could be once every 5 years, but you become that old person because that terrible friend of yours is reminding you. Now you still have that in you, so you can't even navigate a real relationship because you're still having battles within yourself, within your friendship. When you have a good friendship, whether you're a guy or a girl, you're gonna have a good, home life, whether it be single or not, right?
Rico, so first of all, this is a good point.
Really
Right.
good
And I think
point.
it can be true. But as you were saying that, it made me think about a friend of mine who I think is like the total flip of that. Right. Whereas she had a strong circle of people around her who were constantly trying to lift her up. But because she never actually dealt with her past traumas, her own issues with abandonment and all those types of things, our advice fell on deaf ears. So even though we were trying to tell her you deserve better than this, your personality's dope, you just kind of person that just want to absorb your energy, she still kept falling victim to the same type of dude, because at the end of the day, he made her feel good in a different way that we never
I think
could.
it's exceptions to every rule
Yeah.
for sure. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
think what he's saying is
He's got
the
a good
overall
point.
rule
But what
of if you understand how to balance, it's usually balancing relationships and showing up properly in a relationship. That can go romantic wise, that can go friendship wise, that can go family ship wise or whatever. So somebody that knows how to balance proper friendship more than likely is going to know how to show up properly in a romantic relationship as well.
Correct.
Yeah, but what I'm actually saying is a little bit more to it, right? It's that plus the fact that their friends, and I'm not saying you specifically,
No, I'm listening.
but 9 times out of 10, their friends are telling them not to do something that they did. So it's like, and one thing I learned about women is if I say, hey, don't do something and I'm doing it, she's going to be like, well, you do it too. So she's never going to really fully listen or be receptive to what I'm telling her to do, not to do it in this case. Same thing goes with the friend. The friend that she's saying, hey, don't tolerate being cheated on, but that friend that got cheated on for 6 years, right? So in her mind, she's like, my situation could be different and you went through it, so I'm going to go through it too. A lot of times it's always the contradictory friendships that they have that also emulate and be a direct reflection of the relationship that she's in.
Or she could have tripped over a crack and said, watch your step. Because I think, you know what I'm saying? Like if someone did go through that type of relationship for 6 years, then I would like to say that they're an expert up to a degree in what that looks like. So now she's saying, listen, I was where you were. I did that and I made that mistake for a certain amount of time. And as my friend, I don't want to see you experience what I did. There's a crack in the ground. There's no reason for both of us to have to trip over the same crack. But I also agree, it varies. It depends on the circumstances and the maturity of everybody involved. But
I get what you're saying, but I believe it hit different when you getting advice from a crackhead than getting advice from a person that used to be a crackhead and worked his way up the corporate ladder and is making 6 figures now. I think it hit different when it comes from the guy that worked his way up. It really do. When you see that person that said, I used to be like this, but now I'm here now because I stopped doing this. I really believe it is different.
I think we
Yeah.
got to get to the
Yeah, to the question. Yeah, let's get to that.
Organic.
That was some good topics. Y'all broke it down all the way down to the mic.
That was a great question, Rob.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I was lost on that. I don't know what to say. I ain't gonna lie to you.
We know. we know.
That's too much cares
If
going
it's
on.
not finessing, you don't care.
I know, right? I ain't gonna lie. Here we go. We got a question of the week. Hi, I love the show. Shout outs to the whole crew. I've been seeing this girl for a while.
I'm going to end it right there. That's the second part. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that episode. Quite interesting. I think I really think, like I said, the last episode, I really think organic is Randy's kryptonite. Really. I really think, you know, they have personalities that are very similar. And, you know, if they keep getting on the show, they either gonna very well clash, go viral, something's bound to pop off. So y'all trying to make y'all money's worth, keep putting them two on the same episode. But that's gonna be the end of this topic. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Much love, peace. We gone.